Hello and welcome to another LEGO review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at this set. And I know what you're thinking, that's not Harry Potter. And no, it's not, and it's not Star Wars either. This is actually a Lord of the Rings set, or to be more precise, a Hobbit set that was released back in 2012. This is An Unexpected Gathering. So as well as Harry Potter and Star Wars, another thing that I'm a big fan of is Lord of the Rings, and to a lesser extent, The Hobbit. When the films came out in the early 2000s, I was a bit too young to appreciate them, but with the release of the Hobbit films about a decade later, I got into the Lord of the Rings films and watched the Hobbit films as well, but I didn't actually pick up any of the LEGO sets that came out at that time. Looking back, I really wish I had done, because there were a lot of really great sets that go for a lot of money nowadays. And one of them, probably the one that I wanted the most, was this set here. This is Bag End, which is the home of Bilbo Baggins and later Frodo Baggins, and it is a brilliant set which I passed on at the time and regretted it ever since. This set goes for, well, I won't say exactly how much, you can look it up on Bricklink and eBay, but it goes for a lot more money than it originally cost used, and more even than that for a sealed copy. So I was ridiculously happy to find this one at a very, very reasonable price, complete with all original minifigures, box and instruction booklets. So I snapped that up straight away, and thankfully nearly all the pieces were there. So I got the pleasure of building this old retired set, and it's a wonderful thing to add to my collection. So I mentioned that all the minifigures came with this set, so let's start by having a look at them. So first up we have Gandalf. This is the Gandalf the Grey version of the minifigure, which appeared in quite a few Hobbit and Lord of the Rings sets. There is another version of him, which is Gandalf the White, which only appeared in one set, so this is definitely the easier version of Gandalf to get, and I think the one I prefer. In this set, he comes with the hat rather than the hair, which I also prefer because he was using Dumbledore's old hair at that time, which was definitely not the right choice, really, although they did work with the pieces they'd got. I believe the beard piece was new for him at the time, and ironically, they're now using that on some of the more modern Dumbledores, although I think it suits both characters. He's carrying his staff there. He's got a great lot of printing underneath there on the front and also around the back. I just lift his cloak up for you. You can see it there. Obviously, you don't see that the majority of the time, but it's nice that they included it. He doesn't come with an alternate face because of the hat, and the one face that he has underneath the beard looks like this. It's nice that they managed to print that completely, and it's a very usable face even without the context of the minifigure. Next up we have the Hobbit himself, Bilbo Baggins. I believe this version of the minifigure is exclusive to this set. He's wearing a shirt and then trousers with some braces or suspenders. I don't think it comes in another set, although the face print I think isn't unique to this set. He does have a secondary face which is printed on the rear, which isn't too different to the other face, although he does look a bit more sad rather than just concerned, which he looked like on the other face, which I think is right if 13 dwarves arrive at your house unannounced. I think this is a great minifigure, and like all the other Hobbit and Lord of the Rings minifigures, they still really hold up to this day. I think the only thing that could be changed if they made minifigures like this nowadays would be to do the dual moulded short legs. That way we could have the feet which show up with Hobbits where they don't wear any shoes. Nevertheless, I still think it looks good, especially for the time, and I love the hairpiece that was created specifically for the Hobbits. And so we move on to the first of the 4 dwarves that we get in this set, which is quite generous. This is Balin. He is the sort of second-in-command, right-hand man of Thorin, who's the leader of the dwarves, but who doesn't come in this set, unfortunately. He's great. He comes with a unique face print and a unique torso print, which is great, and also this beard piece, which I think, like a lot of the other dwarf beard and hair pieces, was created specifically for the character. It has popped up again more recently. I think it was in a Scooby-Doo set, I want to say, as a lighthouse keeper, but I think this is where it originated. He has a short sword there and comes with a short cape as well. I'll quickly show you his alternate face. So on the other side, he looks a little bit less happy than he does on the first side, and he's one of the few dwarves where you can actually see the change in expression because his beard doesn't cover his whole face. And moving on from Balin, we get to his brother Dwalin, looking quite different. He has no hair on top of his head this time round, though he does have a wonderful tattoo print, which doesn't quite extend all the way around. I don't think LEGO can actually print on the sides of the head to this day, unfortunately, but it does look great on the front and back. He has a short beard piece, which was created for this character, and I think has only really cropped up since in one of the more recent Harry Potter sets, one of the other Hogwarts Moment sets in white on Professor Flitwick. He looks great though, with his ridiculously oversized hammer that doesn't fit in frame. This is something that I think I might modify with a shorter bar, but it still looks great. I'll just show you what he looks like with the beard off. Another nice usable face there. Like I said, he doesn't come with an alternate expression because he doesn't have the hair to cover it and has the tattoo printing around the back instead. Another nice unique torso print as well, showing the straps across his front, and he comes with a short cape as well. Next up, we've got Biffa with his pickaxe and his hat. I don't think he ever actually removes the hat throughout the whole Hobbit trilogy, but it's nice to see that they've got his hair coming out from underneath it as well, which is painted a slightly different colour. This is a rubberized element, so there's actually a bit of flex in it, which I think was a good idea, given that it sticks out and it could have been quite sharp otherwise. He's got a great face print there with the handlebar moustache. He also comes with a short cape. You can see his hair sticking out of his hat as well, and I'll just remove that so you can see his alternate expression. So there we've got a much more angry expression on the back, which looks great. He also comes with back printing underneath his cape, which is great, although, like I've said before with Gandalf, you won't see it most of the time because it'll be covered up. And last but definitely not least, we have got Bombur. Bombur is instantly recognisable by that big loop of beard that looks like a pastry. He is, well, he's quite a large dwarf, and because of that, LEGO decided to create a beard piece which incorporated his rather large stomach, as you can see from the sides. It's a brilliant piece, including all the different parts. You might be able to see he's got a bald spot on the top of his head. I'll just bend him forward a second. There we go. Bald spot on the top of the head there, and then there's a very small amount of skin-coloured printing just there. That's actually part of the beard piece, as is the front of his jacket with the little cross-stitching on there. You may notice that his headpiece, the colour on there, the olive green, doesn't actually match the torso here. That is because this is not Bombur's torso, this is Frodo's torso, which is something I only realised after I'd bought the set. However, I've contacted the seller and he has managed to find the original torso and is being very kind and helpful and is sending that on to me, which is great. But at the moment, we can just appreciate that even with the wrong coloured torso, I think Bombur still looks great. I'll just remove the headpiece so you can see what that actually consists of and see his faces underneath. So that's his face on the front. Looks very different without the beard piece on, and you can also see that Frodo torso a bit more clearly. Spin round to the back as well. It's a slightly different expression on the other side. Are they different? Gosh, they are very, very similar. Slightly different eyebrows, I think, which is good because everything else is covered up by the beard piece. I'll show you that quickly. That is all one piece, including all that printing. It's actually, I think it's dual moulded, although I'm not sure. This may have come before dual moulding, in which case it's some very, very good printing. So now we've taken a look at the minifigures, let's have a look at the build of the set itself. This is a brilliant set, came in at 652 pieces and originally retailed for £60. Like I mentioned, it now goes for quite a bit more than that. I think for £60 this was brilliant value. There are quite a lot of small pieces in this set, no particularly large ones, but the overall shape and feel is fantastic. For anybody familiar with the Lord of the Rings films, they will recognise this immediately, although it's definitely been downsized from the set and the actual location that was used in filming. Everything is easily identifiable, from the round front door just there with the green panels on it, to the smaller round windows all along here, the tree on the top, and the fence and small bench in the front garden. I should say I've made a minor modification. I just swapped the position of the bench here and those, I think they're carrot tops. They were in the opposite places, but I actually swapped them round because that's a little bit more accurate to how things are in the film. Just used the pieces actually in the set, so I feel like that's a fair thing to do. Like I mentioned, the front garden features carrot tops here, but it also has flowers. These are the older style that was still around in 2012. And as well as that, we've got a small wooden tub here with some carrots and an apple. Also features one of these old bushes, which I'm not sure are made anymore. As well as that, we have the tree on top formed using the arch pieces with the plant pieces in between, as well as some in a slightly different lighter green on the roof. And if we look at the front gate, you can see it opens just here. It's a nice construction of the fence along here. Some of the pieces have stickers on with the wood effect. The final detail to point out on the front is probably the lantern hanging over the door. It's not strictly in the right place, it should be in the middle somewhere. I have played around with some modifications, but I thought I'd put it back to how it was so that you could see how it came in the box. You can see as well that we can open the front door just by pushing on it there. Just opens inside. So we will have a look inside as well. With the set turned around, you get a decent look at the interior. I think this is a very respectable interior, especially for the time. While it doesn't exactly follow the layout of the real house in the films, there is a certain representation of the different elements. We've got the dining table on the side here, complete with some food. We've got the book at the back that Bilbo is writing, along with some quills to write with. We've got the fireplace there. Got a trunk here, and then we've got some maps on the floor there, and we can't actually see it, so I'll just rotate slightly. We've got Sting on the shelf just back there. I really like these shelves that are built into the sides of the walls. They go around this side and around this side as well. It's just a nice use of storage and a good representation of the fact that there's wood panelling on the walls in the films. Apart from that, there isn't too much else to say about the interior. Obviously, I've shown you the door can open and close. There's another couple of things on a shelf just hidden behind it there. The other thing that you can do is to remove the roof. So I really like how they've continued the brown of the tree on and inside here, sandwiched between the green. So that can come off. It does give you a little bit better access inside. It definitely lets the light in while the bread slides off the table. That is one thing to say, that the food doesn't actually stay on the table. It's not studded in at all, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's just something about most Lego food items that you can't control. The roof is quite small, so it isn't a huge deal. I normally just leave it on because I think it looks better overall. So yeah, a really nice interior. I will be doing some modifications to this, which I might look at in a future video. Just let me know if that's something you'd like to see. But for the moment, I think, especially coming out in 2012, this is a very decent interior. And there we have it. That's the complete set. I think this is a really great set, and it's wonderful to be able to get my hands on it. It really is one of those holy grail sets that I always wished I'd got, and now I have in my collection. Of course, with the 4 dwarves that come in this set, I am obviously now going to have to collect all 13 of them, which is going to take me a while and be a little bit pricey. At the same time, I'm also going to be collecting the Fellowship, so please let me know if you'd like to see a video on that in the future. I'm a few minifigures into the Fellowship as well, and that's also going to take some time, but I'll be really happy when I've got a finished collection. Let me know if you'd like to see any more reviews like this. Like I've mentioned in videos previously, I have different Lego interests, obviously Harry Potter, some Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, as well as a few others, which I'm more than happy to have a look at. And let me know if you like the idea of looking at older sets as well, rather than ones that have just come out, because I've got a few lined up that I could definitely do reviews on. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video and want to see more, then please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up down below. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.